Look what they did when Obama's presidency, all the shootings. Why were they doing all these mass shootings for? To get the guns away from people. That was their goal, to get the guns away. So that way we can't defend ourselves. They fear us because how many Americans have guns in this country?
There's like 400 million guns in circulation.
Right. And now more people are buying guns now. Why?
Yeah.
They saw what happened in Israel. And these people couldn't defend themselves because they had no guns.
I know.
So
I know. But hold on. But here it's even worse because not only are they taking away your guns, but they're also defunding the police, and the police that still exist, they're emasculating them and taking away all their powers. So,
and they're also trying to weaken the military.
So just so I can get totally banned.
Hey, listen, you want to be on there? I'm going to tell you stories.
No, so I want to go back to Trump at some point. But when you're talking about the mass shootings, don't tell me you're thinking this. Tell me what you're thinking.
What do you mean?
They're doing these shootings on purpose so they could have a narrative to take away our guns?
Absolutely.
Explain that. So Uvalde. I forgot the
MK Ultra.
What?
You ever hear MK Ultra?
No, who's that?
So they did a study, right? It's pretty cool, actually. They did a study in a school. I forgot what college. The professor, where they could actually make people hear what they want to hear. I'm talking about people that are a little touched in the head, right? So every person that had a mass shooting, Uvalde, in Connecticut, the one down in Florida, how come the FBI all knew about them? And they all had psychiatrists. They were all mentally disturbed. They get a mentally disturbed person. They MK Ultra them, make them believe what they want to believe, whatever there is.
Who? The government?
The FBI, the CIA.
So hold on. Let's walk this through. Wait. The FBI knows that Jimmy has a history of psychiatric issues. He's going for help. And the FBI what? Grabs him, talks to him?
I would go more with the CIA. I'm not sure about the FBI. I don't see FBI.
CIA is not supposed to do anything they're always supposed to be overseas.
Right.
Now you're going to say that. So tell me what the CIA does.
So they control these crazy kids. And
tell me how. They get them coming out of a store and they put them in a car and they bring them somewhere?
Yeah. Well, no, look at MK Ultra. Look what they do. They torture these kids. They'll repeat things over and over. This person that killed these people, they're bad for you. If you repeat something over and over, now we're talking about a mentally disturbed person. We're not talking about a normal person. You and I can't fathom that because we're not disturbed. But if you get a person who's disturbed, who's taking all these psychedelic medicines that fuck with their brains, you can believe a lot of shit. Go kill these people.
After the Korean War, disturbing new intelligence reaches Washington. Hundreds of American troops are still being held captive, subjected to brainwashing experiments, and then killed. Mind control research back home intensifies. The new goal is to cause an individual to become subservient to an imposed control, to the point where he will perform acts against his will and then have no memory of the act. To produce such an assassin, the CIA faces two main challenges: how to induce amnesia and how to program in new behavior. In 1957, Dr. Ewan Cameron, an eminent psychiatrist in Montreal, believes he has the answers. Cameron applies his techniques under the guise of normal therapy.
There's a three-part technique which started with an effort to wipe out past patterns of behavior. And this was accomplished through the use of particularly intensive, repeated, high-level electroshocks until no more convulsions could be elicited from a patient.
Cameron then plays tape-recorded messages through helmets that are locked to his patients' heads. This psychic driving forces them to listen to repetitive statements for weeks on end to program in new behavior.
And then the final phase was to try to wipe out all recollection of what had happened. And that was accomplished by putting people to sleep for 30, 40 days, accompanied by different kinds of cocktails of drugs.
In 1973, the MKUltra program was terminated, and some of the evidence of its activities was systematically erased.
The whole thing was basically discovered because of a whistleblower named John Marks, who wrote the first book really about the program called The Search for the Manchurian Candidate. There were congressional hearings here in the United States in the mid-70s after it had been exposed. And during those hearings, the CIA finally admitted that this program existed. They admitted that it was probably not the right thing to do, but they feigned innocence.
Despite the congressional hearings and marginal interest in the subject in popular culture, most MKUltra survivors suffered in silence, taking their trauma with them to the grave. Today, having received no formal apology or compensation, the children of some survivors are pursuing a class action lawsuit against the institutions they deem responsible.
The CIA knew that it was breaking, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
So when I say false flag, doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It means that it happened, but it was planned to happen. They did it on purpose. That's what a false flag is.
They were encouraging these sick individuals.
There was an agenda behind it, just like 9/11. There's an agenda behind it.
Oh, please, dude. Don't.
Dude, no, I don't want to.
That's another podcast.
I know that's going to really blow your mind, and you'll probably never talk to me again. But listen, one day I hope we're still alive for when it comes out, that you're going to say, "Holy shit, I can't believe this." And
Here's the problem.
It broke my heart because I didn't believe it either. It broke my heart.
Right.
But there's a lot of information out there, and you have to look for it. You got to do your investigation.
But that's important. You're looking for this. And I think that people and wait, let me finish. I will admit that yesterday's conspiracy theorist is today's truth teller, right? I got all the stuff about the Wuhan lab. Wasn't the wet market. I agree. But you just, in my opinion, some of the stuff you follow just goes way too far. I don't think, wait. I don't think the government is grabbing these sick people off the street, bringing them to a location and making them listen to music or whatever it is over and over, and then handing them a gun and saying, now go kill people. It's too far for me, way too far.
How come under Obama's presidency there was the most mass shootings ever? Why is that? What people?
You're saying Obama did it? You're saying Obama's DOJ did it?
Their agenda was to get rid of the guns. How do you get rid of guns? Shoot up a school of kids. Oh my God, you have to get rid of the guns? Guns are gonna kill.
I can't believe what you're doing to me, bro. I can't believe what you're doing.
If you play with people's emotions, a lot of shit happens. Play with people's emotions. And play with my emotions.
And we'll be back right after this brief commercial break.
The hook happened. I was beside myself. I was in tears because kids, 6-year-olds, were killed.
In what? What shooting?
As a parent, it breaks your heart.
In what shooting?
Sandy Hook. I was in Florida.
I can't believe what that. See?
Well, yeah, hold on. No, listen to me. Listen to what I'm trying to say. That broke my heart, right? I'm sure it broke a lot of people's hearts.
But dude, there's conspiracy theorists that say that never even happened. You know that, right?
What?
There are people that are conspiracy theorists that say that never happened.
I mean, wait.
Well, dude,
I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because it's too much for you to digest. I get it. But what I'm saying is that when that happened,
it could just be wrong too, bro.
Could be. When that happened, your emotions got the best of you, right? You were heartbroken. Oh my God. And most people will be like, there's no reason to have AK-47s. There's no reason to have AR-15s. There's no reason for that. Because look, they shot up a whole bunch of kids, right? So your emotions get the best of you. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, we should ban AR-15s. They're not good. I know a lot of people who said that. I was one of them. I said, we don't need this. We don't need AR-15. It's ridiculous. But now, in hindsight, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, yeah. So
that is different than saying stop. That is different than saying the government is behind it.
Why?
I agree.
Why?
I can't hear you. What?
Why is it different?
Okay. I agree that there are people on the left and all the Democrats, they just get giddy and tickled and love when there's a mass shooting. Not because people die, but because it puts forth their message and their narrative that we got to get guns off the street. I'm always hearing that. I'm with you. I think the first rule of any dictator is to disarm the population. When I look at pictures of the Holocaust and you see thousands and thousands and thousands of people lined up, coming off the cattle cars, and they're all standing there ready to disrobe and go into the gas chamber. They're all standing there, and there's one Nazi there with a gun. And when I see pictures like that, I say, thank God we have the Second Amendment. And I believe that there are people that would do anything to take it away. Obama had the Fast and Furious, I believe that's what it was called, where he was sending guns to Mexico. Yep. And then that Border Patrol agent was shot. They traced the gun. They found out this is one of the non-scandals that he had, that he was behind that. It was part of the DOJ and Eric Holder to flood the area with guns. So then we could track them, and then we could say, look, we got to get rid of guns. So that I wouldn't consider as a crazy conspiracy theory, because it was actually true. But when you cross over to this other side, it hurts my brain to even consider some of the stuff that you're talking about. So I'm never going to get there. I'm not saying that there's
never say never.
I'll never do it, dude. I'll never do it. I'm not saying that people aren't exploited and taken advantage of.
Why can't you wait? Why can't you never get there? Why are you saying you'll never get there? Because you don't want to believe it.
No, because as a practical matter, I don't know how you, first of all, find out that someone's even in psychiatric care when that is confidential. You cannot even release that. So don't talk to me about the vax. I'm talking about psychiatric care, a person.
If you're looking for luggage, right? Gee, I want to buy luggage for my trip tomorrow. Your phone knows. You're telling me the government doesn't know what's going on? You don't think that they know what's going on? Come on, don't be that naive.
Hold on. So there were shootings under Trump. You're saying Trump wanted them too?
What shootings are you talking about?
There were mass shootings under Trump. You're saying he wanted that too?
I'm not saying Trump wanted. You're missing the point.
You said
Obama had the most mass shootings during his presidency. There was an agenda behind it. They wanted to get the guns away from the people. That was their agenda.
That was why you had Fast and Furious.
Amongst other things.
Okay. But I don't believe.
This wasn't for that. Fast and Furious was to get guns to the, that was more of a corruption type thing as well. The money that was going into their hands.
Well, they wanted to, the whole idea behind that, if I remember correctly, it's going back at least 10 years, was to arm the cartels, trace the guns, and then we could say, look at this gun problem we have. That's a lot different than what you're saying. I don't believe that. First of all, I worked in government. I could tell you that a lot of the people in government are incompetent. A lot of the people in government don't care. And I can't say I blame them, right? You're just a little fish in a really, really big pond. But I don't think that people, there's enough out there already to take our guns away or to push to disarm America now. You don't need any more shootings. And if you're saying that there are enough, wait. If you're saying there were enough shootings under Obama to make this happen, there were also mass shootings under Trump. And we know that Trump believes in the Second Amendment. So that cancels it out.
Yeah, I'm confused right now. What are you talking about? There's plenty of things to get the guns away from the people. What are you talking about?
You're saying that the government is behind the mass shootings. I'm saying that the most horrific mass shootings.
Bills.
What?
They want to get their bills passed. They can't get rid of people's guns because we have a thing called the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But if you pass laws and you get the Senate to approve it, then that goes bye-bye. That's what the mass shootings are for. To get.
You're just saying the government is behind the mass shootings, right?
Yes, yes.
I completely disagree.
I'm not talking about Trump wants mass shootings. You're missing the point. You're missing what I'm trying to say. Obama had the most, right? And they wanted to pass legislation where they get rid of the guns. People have to get rid of the guns. But they couldn't because of the Second Amendment. They were trying to get rid of the Second Amendment.
Mhm.
The same way they're trying to get us into war, so we lose the war, so we get rid of our Constitution.
The reset.
The reset, yeah, 16 years. The 16-year plan. Obama was to destroy us for 8 years, and Hillary was gonna destroy the rest of the 8 years. Go into war, we were gonna lose the war. Why do you think Obama made our military so weak? Why do you think he did that?
I can give you 50 reasons.
Well,
Number one
reason. So
you're gonna say now. Number one, what?
So we could lose a war.
I think that he hates America. I think he believes that America is too strong. He cared more about being a world leader than he did being our country's president. He believed, and a lot of the Democrats believe, that he's laughing at me. Look, he's fucking laughing. Yeah, I'm just so stupid.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see your reaction when you see Obama with his attire with an M16 in his hand, shooting up the American flag. I can't wait for you when that comes up.
And when?
I can't wait.
And when is that going to happen?
I don't know. The only mistake I made a few, but the biggest mistake I made was and I get this from a lot of people, putting the timetable on stuff. I should do that because there is no timetable. So I'm not going to give you a timetable when it's going to happen, but when it does happen, you're going to be, not you, the whole world's going to be like, holy shit.